Some EDC companies make gear that just look cool online, but then there's companies that make gear that you actually end up using every single day. And honestly, Data Crew has become one of those brands for me. What's going on, guys? Mikey Messina here with MikeyDailyCarry. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out brand new Data Crew side fries along with their old fry models. And before I dive into it, just real quick disclaimer. Data Crew did send these pouches over. I am an affiliate for the company. If you use Wakapow at checkout, you do save a couple bucks. I'll have my affiliate code down in the description of this video. But this is not a sponsored video. They are not paying me for this, and there was no expectation for me to release any type of content or videos on these products. I just genuinely stand by the company, and honestly, I may be a little biased because they've become one of my favorite EDC companies out there. Their products are all made here in the USA out of Los Angeles, California, and over time, I've realized their stuff just doesn't sit on the shelf or in a box for me personally. They actually get used. Now let's talk about the evolution of the fry series. What's cool about the side fry is that it really feels like the next step in evolution in the fry lineup. It originally started with the small fry, which I actually still have in multicam black. This pouch is super compact and honestly one of the cleanest minimalist EDC organizers out there. They then expanded to something like this, and this is called the large fry. So this gives you more room for tools, admin gear, and larger loadouts. I made a video of how I use this as a wallet. I'll link that in the description down below as well. But now they have the side fries, which honestly feels like they took everything they learned from the previous generations and refined it into something even more practical. So first, let's talk about some specs and features, because there's a lot of thoughtful detail packed into this thing. The side fry features a refined dual pocket system. You got one in the front, one in the back. You also have a loop panel right here on the front where you can put your reeds just like I did here. YKK zippers front and back. Military grade nylon, water resistant construction, and it's fully made in the USA using USA materials. Dimension wise, we're looking at 5.5 inches by 4.25 inches by 0.25 inches, not loaded out. And having it horizontal really changes the experience compared to the small fry and the large fry. It feels easier to access in slings, backpacks, desk setups, and even jacket pockets. So let's talk about this first side fry here. This is in the Ultra material, and I actually have this loaded out as a ouchie boo-boo kit that I have in my sling bag currently. On the front here where I have the patches, I currently have my Wakapow patch on there. I have a Data Crew patch on there, and then I have this here to tell me that it's a med pouch. So if I need someone to go into my bag and I go, look for the pouch that has the white plus sign on it, and they don't know what a med kit is, they can easily spot this. Let's talk about what I have in here. On this side here, you have a pocket that pretty much goes all the way down. And then on the back side, you have a pocket that stops at about 3/4 of the way down. So it has a false bottom. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom. And then I have such things in here like scissors, in case I need to cut some of, this tape that I need to put on a boo-boo. I have your typical gauze pads in here, prep pads as well. I also have a set of nitrile gloves in here to prevent any type of cross-contamination, burn ointments, towelettes, things of that nature. I have that all here in the front, okay? And then let me put this back. I really like these scissors, by the way. I got these on Amazon. I got to find the link for these, but they're really solid, super strong. I've actually gone through TSA with these, no problem. And they just fold up like so. So it's pretty cool. Now, on the back side of this side fry, after I zip this up, I have all of my Band-Aids. So that doesn't go all the way to the bottom. I'm not going to pull every single Band-Aid out, but any size that you can think of, I have in here. But all my Band-Aids live back here. And then all of the prep stuff live in the front. Really simple. This right here is the Ultra material. It's a brand new material to Data Crew. It honestly feels super premium in hand. It has that lightweight but almost sailcloth style structure to it, where it feels durable without being bulky at all. So as you can see here, it pretty much like disappears in my hand. Well, like so. I like how the interior of this has that high-vis orange. I talk about that all the time because I can easily spot things that are inside, especially with bad eyes like mine. And the Challenge Ultra material is really nice balance between rigidity and flexibility, where it keeps shape really well while still being lightweight. So although this isn't my full trauma kit, which I'll have in like the truck or maybe my larger backpacks, this does act as a very good ouchie boo-boo kit, which as a parent, I actually reach for probably most times, if not all the time, before I reach into some form of trauma kit, because I just don't happen to be around those type of scenarios. And I think for this type of size, it's honestly perfect because the layout naturally separates the smaller medical items really well to where the band-aids are. I really like that. Now this here is the Side Fry X-Pac in Desert Olive. Now this is my Leatherman extension toolkit. This immediately became my dedicated Leatherman extension toolkit compared to the larger pouch that I had. And if you know me, you know I'm constantly carrying around multi-tools. I actually have my Leatherman Arc that lives in this sheath here, which is my Tale of Knives MPU. This lives right on my hip. This is an extension of the tools that I can use with this Leatherman. I also have another Leatherman in here, which I'm going to go over in just a second. Before I do that, I just want to talk about how much I love this Desert Olive colorway. Because X-Pac naturally has that laminated layered construction, it gives the pouch a really solid shape while still keeping things lightweight and water resistant. As you can see the different patches here. Got some new patches that they sent over as well, supporting the homie stacks right there. Talk about how I load this out. On the side where you have that false bottom, doesn't go all the way here, I have my very first Leatherman multi-tool. And that is the Leatherman Skeletool. So that actually fits perfect on that backside here. And again, high-vis orange, perfect for the eyes, perfect for you spotting things. But I have the Leatherman Skeletool with the serrated topograph blade. And I like having this in there because I also have, which is going to be very important, this bit holder here. And you're going to see why that's important in just a second. But for those of you that don't know what this Leatherman Skeletool is, really compact multi-tool, has some solid pliers there. I just showed you the knife. It also comes with an extra bit holder here in case you want to swap that out with this bit right here. Obviously, you have your pocket clip so it can hang in your pocket. It also has a carabiner here if you want to have it hang on the belt loop of your pants or your bags. And that's pretty much the big thing about this multi-tool. Now, I wanted to, again, highlight how important this section is because over on this side is where I have the Leatherman bit extender. So if I want to put that into here, I now have an extended driver. And then if I want to take this off and maybe use this ratcheting system that I got from 7-Eleven tools, I can use that, and actually it goes hand in hand with the Leatherman bits. So now you have your ratcheting option. And then I also have this here, which is another tool from 7-Eleven, and I have a video that I did specifically about all these tools, but you put that in there. Now I have a 1/4-inch magnetic bit holder, which I actually have all my bits in here. So I have these bits. I want to show you. So that just goes in there. Boom. Right? Say, for example, I want to take that off, and I want this to act as a socket. So that way it can be a driver. Well, now you put that thing down, and now you can hook a socket to it, and you can have that as a ratchet tool. And obviously this has the same thing on my Leatherman Arc. These are the different bits that came with the 7-Eleven tools. And I also have the Leatherman bit kit in here as well. So that's what I mean about this pouch being a dedicated Leatherman extension tool set. So let me fold that up. Boom, just hides in there. And then again, in here, that just disappears into this pocket. Zip that up. And then over on this side, I start with the bits first. So I'll go flat for the Leatherman bit kit. Then I'll get these bits in there. And then I wrap it up by putting the extenders, Ratchet 711L tools in there. And that just closes up like so. And now there goes my side fry as my Leatherman extension tool set. I have my Leatherman tool set. I have the Ouchie Boo Boo kit. So I have patches there in the front to have that kitted out and rocking the homies. So what I noticed immediately with side fries, how they make organization, they keep your EDC organized without feeling so bulky. What I appreciate most about Data Crew's products is that they feel designed by people who actually carry gear. The organization just makes sense. The materials, they feel intentional. The stitching on these things are super solid. I've had multiple Data Crew products. I've never had any stitching issues. They have a balance between functionality while still keeping the clean aesthetic that people love from the brand itself. A lot of pouch companies either go way too tactical or way too minimal. Data Crew kind of rides in the middle of that perfectly. So what are some pros about these side fries? Well, excellent materials, made in the USA. Super versatile organization and a great size for slings, backpacks. The horizontal orientation feels natural. Different material options for different use. I love the high-vis interior that's orange. It's super incredibly useful. Now, what may be some cons? The price. Maybe a little too high for some people. They are limited drop, so it can make them harder to get in your hands. And they're smaller than your full admin pouch, where you can carry a ton more gear. But honestly, the side fry feels like a very refined version of everything Data Crew has learned from the small fry and the large fry for minimalist setups. Large fry for fuller loadouts, I feel like, and then you have the small fry for like your wallet, and then you have your side fry, which is like the middle ground. And I can already tell that they're definitely going to stay in my rotation for a long time. If you guys want to check these out, I'll have links and my affiliate code down below. I do have a discount code as well. And as always, stay prepared, stay intentional. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Waka-pack!